Hi, it's Kylie Coo. Welcome to my studio. So a couple of months ago I made some word embellishments and a lot of you seem to enjoy that video, so today I thought I would show you how I make word stamps. So I'm going to be using a foam sheet. I need a pen, obviously some inks, something to attach the words to, and some paper to stamp on. And if you have one of these letter sets, you might also want to use that. So I already had a few that I'd made. I'm just showing you that was one of them that had the word love. And I'd simply attached it to an acrylic block with a piece of double-sided tape. Some of these I might actually attach to some wood so that they're more permanently, but I'm just showing you this one that I'd made and just stamping it there on top of a printed page, a page out of a book. Now, there is a lesson to be learned from that one. It says bream, it was supposed to say dream, but I put the D round the wrong way. But you know, take a bit of time to show you how to create these. So let's say we want to use a letter set. If you're not confident about doing letters, then you could use a letter set. And what you might want to do is just to line it up. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to just do the word love again. And all I'm going to do is I've flipped the letter stencils over the other way so it looks back to front. And that's an important thing to remember for making this sort of word stamp, is that you're actually putting the word on back to front. Now here's another little pen I'm just trying out. This one, it was one of those that came, I think, from a charity in an envelope. So I'm just trying it because it had a longer nib on it, but it does turn out to be, although it's a longer nib and goes through this better, it's actually quite sharp, and I just felt that it was cutting into the foam too much. You do want to be pressing the foam down, but you don't want to cut all the way through. So this was just a bit scratchy. So I'm just reverting to this other pen. Now this is just a normal biro pen, you know, with a metal end on it. I wouldn't use one that's terribly expensive because you don't want to waste it, but you know, just one that in this instance I can reach through the letters. So you'll see I've got that back to front, and that's so that it will stamp correctly. And all I'm doing now is to go over the letters just to push the foam further down. Now if you don't like the way the stencil comes out, you can then just join up the letters where they would have otherwise have had the little gaps in the way that stencils do. So I'm now just going to cut that out. You can just see it coming through on the other side there, no more. Obviously you don't want to push so far through that it actually goes right through the foam. And I'm just going to even this up. Now what this will do is to give you what I would call a block. So you're actually going to get the word is kind of inverted. It's not standing out, it's the background that stands out, so you get that kind of border around it, and I quite like that. You know, if you wanted to put a word on a journal page, that would kind of stand out. So there you go, just doing that again. And of course each one that you do of these is going to look slightly different, so you could write the same word several times and each time it might just look that little bit different, and of course could do it in different sizes. So here I'm just taking a different colour of ink. It comes out not quite as bright as it might have because I didn't really clean the stamp off. So that's just showing you how to do it that way, and of course you could cut round that. You could make a number of these and have them sitting in your stash so that when you need them they're there, or a nice little thing to go into Happy Meal. So I'm going to do the word dream, given that I'd got it wrong last time and I ended up writing bream, which of course is a type of fish. I've just written my word out, and if you're not confident about writing things out the wrong way, then this might be a way to do it. So I'm just going along letter by letter and flipping them round, and of course the first letter has got to start at the other end this time. So I'm now just going to do this freehand rather than using the letter set. And I've just put this on to double speed because, you know, I do take my time just to make sure that I'm getting it right. So I find that I sometimes use the same words over and over a number of times, and that's why I thought it would be quite good just to have a few stamps made up that I can use them when I want them. And the other thing is that if I was writing a sentence and I wanted to say the word dream in it, I could write the other words, but then if I wanted the emphasis on the word dream, then I've got this stamp to put in. Or if I had some words that I'd cut out of collage but I was missing a word, then again this would be the sort of thing that I could use here. So I'm actually going to demonstrate 3 different ways of doing this. So this is the way that will give you that block in the background. So here I am just using a piece of the double-sided tape to attach it. I did have one of those little roller ones that had repositional tape on it, but that's run out, so just using normal double-sided tape just now. This ink pad's also just about running out, so I do change it in a little while. I'm having to press quite heavily with it. But there we go. And what I've found with this is that I can actually print them a few times and it just comes out in a different kind of intensity. Now there, I just wanted to go over the word, the letter D, just to make it a little bit clearer. And it was just a case of pressing back down on the letter. So I'm now taking a felt tip pen and I'm going to show you how to do it that you can actually have the letters being prominent. So again, I'm just taking a short word, so I'm just writing fly, and all I'm going to do is this time I'm not going to press down, and that's why I'm choosing to use a felt tip pen rather than a biro pen which would press down into it. So again, just writing my word back to front, and I'll just cut that out. And this time what I want to do is not to press down on the actual letters, but I'm going to go all around the letters and press down the foam that surrounds the letters. Now unfortunately the 2 pen colours are quite similar, so I'm not sure how clear this is going to be. But you can see there I'm just starting to go around each letter, and of course it's important in between the letters to make the distinction between the letters. So I'm just going round them to begin with. And what I'll then start to do is to press quite heavily on the bits of orange foam that's left. Because what I want to do is to flatten them to bring the letters to the front so that the letters become prominent. Now this can take a little bit longer to do. A shortcut is to just actually cut around the letters a bit, but you want to leave sufficient, if you want an entire word, you want to leave sufficient to be able to actually stick it down. So you'll see there, I'm just going in places just to demonstrate how you can actually cut around the letters. But for the rest of it, I will just keep pressing down until each letter sticks up. And I'll just jump forward a little bit here. So here I've gone right round it, so you can just see there that the letters of the word fly are just sticking up a little bit. So all I'm going to do now is to attach it again to my acrylic block. I'll take my stamp. I'm actually going to use a different ink this time because the Stays On was starting to run out. And you can see there that now I've got the word fly and it doesn't have the block around it. Now if there are any bits sticking up, you can just go in and flatten them with your pen. As I say, this way does take a little bit longer than just doing it the kind of block way, but it's kind of rustic looking in a sense. Obviously the more time you take doing it, the better the result you'll get. I was kind of doing this quite quickly. So another way you can do it is you could actually make your own alphabet or your own letters. And again, just for speed, I'm just going to do 2 letters. So I'm just going to do my initials, a K and a C. Now the difference if you're doing it this way and you're going to make a kind of alphabet is you want to actually do your letters the right way. So when you look at it, you would recognise it as being the letters rather than writing it the other way round. So I'm just going to take a bit of time and cut out my letters. So I now have my letters out and I'm going to put them up towards me in the way that I want to print them. So again, it's not the other way round this time. So you can see them through the block in the way that it will actually look on the page. If I turn the block over, you can see that they look to be back to front. So when I ink them up, they will look to be back to front. Ink them, turn it around, and then stamp, and I have my initials there. Now, as I say, you could make a full alphabet, numbers this way if you wanted, and then you can pull them out as and when you need them. You need a bit of time and a bit of patience, I think, to do that sort of thing, but you know, it's possible to do it. So I'm going to be coming back with another video on how I use foam to make other stamps, so hopefully get that up within the next week. Meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you will have a go at making your own stamps. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.